guys, before we get started with this video, I would just like to say if you're enjoying my content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a big ol' smack for me. It helps the channel out a lot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Connect the Dots. This is episode 2, part 2. So if you did not see part 1 of episode 2, make sure to check that out because, you know, this is part 2 of episode 2. You might want to check out part 1 because this is a continuation of that. I'll leave a link in the description. And if you did not see episode 1, make sure to check that out as well. So once again, I am going to be interviewing the owner and one of the co-owners of GLACE Ice Cream Parlor. Now, episode 2, like I had mentioned in part 1, was just, sorry for the background noise, was just so long that I could not upload it in one whole video. It had to be split up into multiple parts. That's why there's part 1, part 2, and there's going to be a part 3 as well. There's going to be a total of 3 parts to this episode. So, yeah. Now, one thing I want to throw out there, like I've said in the previous episodes, is if anybody has any controversy or beef or drama with the people I interview or the groups they represent, just know I am not involved in it. If there's any, like, controversy or anything that may or may not have happened, I am not involved, so please don't drag me into it. The only reason that I'm interviewing these people is so that we can bridge the gaps of misunderstandings between us as the trolling community and them as the games that we troll at. That's the reason why I do it. I'm probably never going to speak to these people again after these premieres are over. After these videos are done, I'm probably not going to ever cross paths with them ever again. So, just throwing that out there. I'm not friends with them. I'm not, like, colluding with them or something, you know? Just wanted to throw that out there so that people don't think I am, like, I don't know, promoting something. I don't know, because I just don't want people getting the wrong idea. But anyways, now that I've gotten that off my chest, we can jump right into episode 2, part 2. I hope you guys enjoy it. So, this is a question from last time that a commenter came up with, and I'll have to look at a community post a little bit. So, you guys mentioned how you guys are very chill with trolling, but at the same time, there is still consequences for doing it. So, why isn't trolling allowed?
Well, I mean, that is like, well, like, part of the thing is, like, you know, again, I'll use this McDonald's reference. If you're pretending to, you know, order McDonald's at an ice cream parlor, like, you know, the person, it's impossible for them to get you what you want, you know what I mean? Like, and it, you know, it kind of disrupts, like, people who are actually there to order things, and, like, it can be pretty annoying. But I think it's, like, it's common amongst most cafes, and again, it kind of gives staff members a job, especially with people with admin. Like, they love using their admin, and it's, like, it's true. Like, that's why people will buy it. That's how you got, you know. And so if we allow trollers to troll, well, then it's like it could kind of ruin the whole gameplay kind of thing. Like,
defeats the purpose.
Because the whole point is role play, and if the role play, like, you don't go up to an ice cream parlor in real life and ask for McDonald's, you know. And if you are, like, you'll get thrown out kind of thing, you know? Like,
yeah, you know.
And I'm all for trolling, but it's like, you know, you'll be... I can't stop you from someone else from punishing, or, like, you know, someone from kicking you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to it, it's like a lot of groups don't choose to do it. A lot of groups say, well, there's certain things that you can. We have trialed at GLACE before, not allowing people to, you know, have the caps rule. That is a very controversial rule, I think, is that I'm for the caps. For me, don't mean anything. And the dotting rule, again, is another thing that people talk about. Yeah, I don't mind, but I think we have trialed this in GLACE, and it hasn't worked successfully because I think people are built on this system where if a troller comes in, you warn them, then you warn them again, and then kick them, and then do it the same cycle again until you get rid of them. And I think as well is that trolling, like Alex said, is trolling is okay to an extent, but I do think that when people are playing the game, they're there to play the game, not to, you know, mess about and annoy people and stuff. Yeah. So I do think that if we do allow trolling to happen, I think GLACE won't be able to function as as good as it can now, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
And staff members won't have a job. I think that
It
like,
gives them a purpose. Yeah.
it does.
Right,
Like and I'm all, and that's the system it creates. It's like, that's why people have admin, is to moderate the game. And if you can't moderate the game because you just allow anyone to do anything, well, one, it's like you got staff members who aren't doing their job, and then it's the whole, like, we get players now without advertisements because of people want to role play, and if we allow trollers to kind of just troll, then like people will probably dislike the gameplay. And I mean, people already hate our game because we sell ranks. Like, people, like, it's true. And like, look, haters are gonna hate. There's people that hate. There's always gonna be haters, and like, I'm fine with that. And and I know it's bannable offense, but I've been doing this for 2 years now, and Roblox hasn't banned me ever. So it's like, I'm a key. I mean, at some point you should stop though, and I don't know when. We're considering, doing different things when version 3 comes out, but we'll see.
That is a upcoming question, that will be an upcoming question. It's not the next one, but it will be the one after that one. So,
got it.
So one thing that trollers will claim is that in groups like yours and others, they will claim there's a lot of problems with admin abuse and corruption.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this is a thing in the industry that is a problem, or do you think it's just something that trollers are exaggerating about?
Yes, to an extent.
Yeah, at selling groups that sell ranks 1,000,000,000%. Like, we have admin abuse problems a lot, but not as much as like maybe other groups do, because again, we have a lot of systems like scripting, and we have staff systems to take care of it. But yeah, there's gonna be admin abuse, and that's true. But it's like trollers will say that, and like they'll, like, at a professional group, as owning both, I've owned a professional, and like, people will, like, you can tell when someone's trolling. And we have a system for that, and some people just go straight to kicking and stuff, because you can kind of tell when some person will take a warning and then continue to do what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of trollers will say like, "Oh, you're not following the 3 warn system," because a lot of groups have that. And in fact, we changed it to where you just warn them once and then you kick them, because we know if you're being warned once for what you're doing, you're probably gonna, like, if you're going on, like, you're gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna
Maybe
stop.
continue,
You're not gonna stop. So it's like, you're gonna get kicked. But yeah, there's admin abuse. Yes, I've seen admin abuse happen before a lot. And like, at some, there's like small admin abuse where it's like someone's just naming themselves like something, like, like their name or whatever. Like, that's small admin abuse. But like, banning people for kind of no reason, that I would consider big admin abuse. Yeah, but I totally agree. Whoever asked that question, or if you asked that, yeah, that it is an issue in a lot of groups, because again, the bias. Everyone's got a bias. It's just a fact.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's almost impossible to not have any admin abuse, and you're gonna have that everywhere. There's always gonna be unfair situations, because life's not fair, and
yeah,
like, that's
unfortunately.
Yeah, like that. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna, like, when a troller comes on and saying like your staff members banned me and then it was like unfair, and I was like, life's not fair, and I mean, yeah, it isn't, and it's like you gotta I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, from my perspective, admin abuse is a problem, but we have different grades. It's not possible at GLACE to run the ban all command or the p ban all command. Well, we don't even sell p ban admin anyway, but it's not possible to kick all. It's not possible to ban all. Anything with all on automatically stops. We have a system where if you try and do that, it automatically fires you.
Yeah.
Yes. That system. So people can't just go ban all. So from GLACE's experience, admin abuse is a problem, especially with rank selling groups. 100%. There's always going to be admin abuse. You can't eliminate admin abuse. Yeah. But at GLACE, most people do try and run the ban all command and then wonder why they get fired. And that's the problem. We eliminate that because a lot of trollers who buy these ranks to do that do not realize that we have these systems set up in place.
Yeah, because a lot of groups don't. Yeah,
a lot of groups don't. No.
And that's another thing. Like, if you're like, some trollers will be like, "That's unfair. I didn't know." But it's like, the point is like, when do you ever have to use the ban all command? You know what I mean? Like, if you're buying the whole point is you're trying to get fired. You know, like that's why you run the command. You know, like you're trying to bring attention to yourself. Like that's why, like people do what they, you know, like, and people are saying like that's unfair. I didn't know, but it's like, well, first of all, in the Game Pass description, we say if you admin abuse, there'll be consequences, and like we're pretty, and but it's like if you're, I don't see any possible situation where you need to use the ban all command or, yeah, because
Anything related to that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and if it's the first, yeah, and some people, like, this happened before, some person will buy a rank, and it's the first command they run.
Yeah,
you know?
always.
That happens a lot.
Wow.
With GLACE, we do what we have with our rank center where people go and claim the ranks is that you have 3 tries at it, and it automatically after that locks you out. So there's not an excuse of, oh, I didn't know, because you have 2 more attempts, you see. And there's not the excuse of, oh, I didn't realize that this command would get me fired. But then we'd say, right, don't do it again. You can reclaim it 2 more times, and then you get rank banned. You automatically get locked out of our rank ban center. And it's not like we're saying, right, that's scamming. We've given them 3 alternatives and 3 chances to do this. And if they screw up on the 3rd time, then it's their fault.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like, technically, if we're gonna go in technical terms, like that's why, you know, Roblox used to ban rank selling groups. They're you know, and because technically it's like when you buy a Game Pass, you have to have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're considering switching to dev products, so that when a person buys a dev product, they get what they get. Like, they get the dev product, but it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, we've considered switching to that multiple times because of just to, like, abide by Roblox TOS. Like, there's a good example of this is Nova Hotels. They abide by TOS by selling points instead of the rank itself. You get what I mean?
Yeah. So one thing that a lot of trollers will say also is that groups have corruption problems, like people who will put their own interests over the interests of the people they're supposed to be serving and protecting. Do you think that this is another exaggeration, or do you think that there is some truth to it?
No. I just explained earlier how I wanted there to be elections, but like, that was me putting my interest over others, and we did a vote on it. We didn't implement. We did it once. Actually, we were gonna do an election again, but there's only 2 runners, so it didn't end up working. But you know, that was me putting my interest over other people's. But we vote on like
I think you mean the other way around, putting their interests over yours. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, we vote on we vote on a lot of things in the board. Like, I can't tell you what specifically, but
yeah.
You know, we vote on a lot of things, and so you know, and anything that, you know, people like will happen, and anything that doesn't, or people that don't like, won't happen. But you know, then again, you can make the argument that that's the board putting their interest over others, because it's like, it's almost impossible to get everybody's opinion on something.
Yeah,
you know?
You can't please everybody.
You can't get a full majority. So
some people are gonna disagree. That's just human nature. It's just human nature.
So you kind of just have to please the majority. And I think most of the board have worked at GLACE for long enough, so they know like what people will like and what systems are needed to, like, you know, kind of run the place. But we have I'm pretty sure we have like public relation polls. We announce it publicly every month, and we get feedback from the community. We get staff, like we have staffing forms where we feedback again from, you know, MR Plus, and we try to take in as much feedback as possible. But at some points, there has to be some decisions made, and maybe a lot of people will disagree with them. I've made decisions where, you know, a lot of people disagreed with, but we went back, like, you know, and I've heard back. I listen to my community a lot, and so I've gone back on a lot of choices I made because of how the community reacted. I'm not the kind of person to make a decision and stick with it. But yeah.
From my experience of that, is that I have had it so where I've been actually underneath, people above me have, you know, put other people before me because they have, you know, they potentially don't like me or don't like what I have, you know, my ideas and stuff. You get it all the time. Any group has it. People take, like I say, usually the people who do commit these, you know, the idea of corruption in their office, so to speak. Those types of people take the job far too seriously. Yeah. Nearly all the time where I've had these cases of people getting reported to me, they're very cunning with what they do, and they do take it so that if they have, they are very invested in the job. They do treat it like a job, a real life job, and that's where we see that. But at GLACE, we have 4 department overseers, so that's myself, Maddie, the other co-owner, the vice chair, Sloth, and the chairwoman, Fred. All 4 of us help to look at the group. So it's not just one person overseeing, it's 4 people, so that it's easier to do, and it eliminates the idea of corruption and being biased and things.
Yeah.
But
we've been accused for corruption before, or not me as much, because a lot of people. Again, I'm very open about this. I'm not super involved with GLACE or the decisions that are being made, which I guess could be kind of bad. But for the most part, I think it's good because again, it gets rid of that one person running everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Crimson's been there was document he's been accused of it's just a lot of Crimson's not corrupt. He's not corrupt, and again, there's a difference between someone being biased and full on corruption. You can't you got to be biased at some points, and it's just because that's how you have to make decisions. You can't just.
I admit I've made decisions.
Yeah, and people they're not gonna there's a lot of people that like us. There's a lot of people that don't, and at some point you gotta kind of just ignore the people. You shouldn't ignore them. Sorry. But if some people are just not gonna like you at all, for even you try to
draw the line at some point.
If they have a legitimate argument, I'll sit and listen to them. I always do. But if they cross the line and start attacking you personally, that's where you go, no.
Yeah,
that's enough.
And I'm all for listening to the community. I love talking to my community. I was really active in the general chat. Actually, I probably have a few thousand. I probably have 20,000 messages sent there, some insane amount.
Jeez.
I used to talk there a lot, and I talk with a lot of staff, and I kind of people know me as kind of I like that fun in game, and stuff, and I people. We had this thing in GLACE where we have we used to play Among Us a lot, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But Among Us kind of died off. It sucks, but I got to find another game. But it's really fun to play with the community, listen to them, and hear their ideas. And it's just I don't want to be that type of owner where it's they're kind of just sitting. I recently opened my DMs again, where anybody can DM me. I've gotten pretty weird DMs, but
I bet.
Yeah. For the most part, it's just a lot of new people. Trying to get to know my group more, and it's fun. So,
yeah.
Alrighty. So here we go. Here's the big question, and this is gonna probably open up a lot of discussion. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is a big topic, so it needs to be brought up. So a lot of trollers and even other groups don't like the idea of selling ranks. What is your guys' defense of rank selling? Why don't we start with Mr. Crimson on your defense of selling ranks?
There's 3. I like to use 3 areas. First of all, rank selling funds GLACE. Without rank selling, there'd be no money for GLACE, which means no updates like version 3, which we'll talk about in a bit. We won't be able to pay developers, won't be able to pay ads, things like that. Yes, you can argue that we can do it professionally. However, we'll have less income to play with. Second thing is rank buying actually attracts a lot of professional people. And people who have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I've had it so at both Cream and GLACE, I've been speaking to executives at well-known groups with hundreds of thousands of members. They've come to me and said, "I've bought a rank here. I want to help out. What do you do?" And they take ideas from GLACE and they bring it back to their group, which I don't mind at all because they bring their ideas from their groups into GLACE as well. So it's all about sharing this idea. And the third reason is it gives people 2 options to the game. They can either say, right, today I'm gonna have my account work legitimately all the way up. That's what we if they don't buy a rank. Or somebody might say, right, I'm gonna buy a rank, and that gives me a starting foundation to set me up for the further group. That's what I did at Cream. I was a rank buyer at Cream when I first started, and it helped me to give a foundation and involve myself in the community.
Yeah, and I guess I'll give my opinion on it now. Okay, I'll admit this. If you rank sell, you kind of do it for the money. It's true. Most rank sell, I'll admit, but the point is, it's not like, for me, I don't DevX. Like, I've already told you that. It's not like I'm trying to make as much money as possible and run away with it. Like, in fact, we don't have that. Like, I just I like to have a popular group, and like I used to, professional groups. If you look at it, most professional groups that are big have been around since 2019, or like you don't see any groups coming out in 2021 that blow up, right? You don't. And to run a professional group, you have to be you got to be original, and you have to have money, especially because of how big Roblox is. Like, advertisements, right? You got to be spending thousands of Robux a day on advertisements. And if you're running a professional group, you're not going to make that back. Venti is a good example. They built a great community, and they've been doing that for years, since 2018. And look at them. But they also have a feature on the front page. You got to have some sort of way to get out to other people. And he probably doesn't make, because he doesn't sell any ranks. But a lot of groups now, they sell ranks. Like, they don't sell like MR or high ranks. They don't sell admin ranks, but they sell rank because they realize that it's a way to generate income. They sell points, which I consider selling ranks, because it's a way it's a way to promote yourself. So you're paying for a promotion, and they'll sell LR ranks, and that's how a lot of groups run now. And I tried running a professional group, right? And even with thousands of Robux and ads every single day, it's extremely hard to build a community, and it is. And rank selling, advertisement's a great way, and at some point you'll build a community. Like that happened with GLACE. I had to run like 20,000 Robux a day on ads for like the first 2 weeks before I started to make profit, and we had like a community. Like, now I still run ads now. Like, I only run like 5K Crimson? Yeah, 5K.
Yeah, 5K.
Yeah, 5K a day. But people, like, we technically don't need advertisements, but at some point, if you're not running ads, because new players, like, people get bored of the game, so you got to bring in new people. And people are like, rank selling dies at one point, but that's not the case, especially when Roblox just had like 100% increase of users in the past year alone, and that's why you run. That's why you run advertisements, to bring in new people, and even running like small amounts kind of works. And other group owners, they like to keep secret about this because they don't like to spread. But I'm all for giving people tips, and I'm all for telling people like what I've done personally. And again, kind of luck has to be on your side, Like, Boba recently, they're at 1,000 people right now because a TikTok that was made on them blew up, And
I actually was wondering about that, because I saw Pleasant tweet about that, and I was like, wait, what in the heck happened? So it was because of a TikTok?
Yeah, it was the same thing. Yeah, a few months ago, TikTok, like YouTube, like having a YouTuber play your game or TikTok like blowing up is very helpful.
Oh,
to get
definitely
new users. But, yeah, and like, that's why, and and that rank selling, like, people say it's bad, and I'll admit it's for the money, but it's not like I'm trying to like
take it and run, like you said.
Take it and run. It's just like, it's the way, like, I'm more for like trying to build a community. And look, Cream is my old group that used to sell ranks. We're trying to build a professional community, and it's very hard. And we're working on a new version now, but it's super hard because it's like, if we don't make a profit, then I can't run advertisements because I'm not like loaded with Robux. I'm not. And at some point, I'm going to run out if I'm just losing it. Like that, you got to at least make it back. Like, I'm all for making it back. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to like break even. Like, I'm not for the profit. I'd rather just break even and not have my game die. That's what I'm for.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's okay. Now, so this is a lot more basic of a question, because we've gone over some pretty big questions so far, but this is a basic question. Basic, but I'll tell you what, it is probably the question you'll get more than any other, and this is probably at every cafe. What is the point of working at a pixelated cafe?
Well, enjoyment. Enjoyment. I think like that's like why you play a game. People play Robeats because they think it's fun. I know a lot of people that just love working at cafes. Like they don't play anything else on Roblox, but like just they love being like a barista, working their way up kind of thing, and then they quit and then they move on to the new one. And it's because it enjoys them. It takes up they like to use their free time on it. It's a hobby kind of thing.
Yeah. And
And
from
I
my
guess
point of
some.
view,
Oh, sorry. And
sorry.
I want to add one thing before
Sorry.
Crimson. Another thing is like people say like a good example is like those USA like very realistic groups like that like are on par with IRL like real life things.
Like the
Like
military groups, you mean?
yeah, like those
Mm.
like some people say like they get better they become better writers because of it. They understand like what it is to have like a kind of like a job kind of thing. Again, we're not expecting people to work 8-hour shifts at Glace ever, but some people do because we're all kids. It's kind of like playing a video game. Like I mean, it is literally,
It is,
and
yeah.
yeah, like it's kind of and that's why it's a weird. Like I don't think it's a great question, but I just think it's like why do people like to play? It's just what they like to do, and some people like I know a lot of people IRL in Roblox in general. Like the older you get, people will kind of like you gotta have to be silent about playing Roblox because people will kind of criticize you for
Yeah.
playing a little kid's game. But it's like
Yeah.
what makes the difference between you playing that versus Valorant? It's just a game you like. It's about preference, and it's not like yes, Roblox is targeted towards little kids, but Roblox also enables you I've created an actual company. Like I've created a company that like a game that that could generate actual money.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have been able to do that on Valorant or something else because you can't. Roblox allows people to be turned from players, and most people that created really great games on Roblox used to be players when they were younger, and now they used what they learned from playing games to create their own.
That is exactly right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, and Crimson he'll probably have more to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but sorry, Crimson, before I just say that. So, he is absolutely right on that because, when I was younger, I played Roblox all the time. I mean, I started playing Roblox in like 2011 when I was a little kid. And, I mean, to be fair, Roblox was a very different place back then. I don't know when you two started playing, but I started playing in like 2011. It was a very different place, a much smaller community. But even still, I watched the whole community grow. So I became kind of integrated with this community and used what I learned to make this content. And, I think it's very true that the older you get, the more you kind of have to hide that you play Roblox. And not only that, with me, there's a whole other layer to it that I'm my age and I troll. Like, I had a comment, like, I was just yesterday, I was recording a reading comments video, and one of the comments I got was, oh, I don't understand how you're an older person and you do this. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're judging my age based on my voice, okay?
Yeah.
All you can probably gain out of hearing my voice is that I'm not prepubescent. You can probably guess that based on my voice. For all you know, I may still be under 18 years old. I think I could still pass as 17, 16, maybe. I like to think anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But, if it's what I love doing, and it's what I have a passion to do, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody in the process, like, okay, sometimes when I make videos at places, people get targeted, they get harassed, but I make it very clear in all my videos with the disclaimer, I tell them, don't send hate. So yeah, bad things do end up happening sometimes, but if I'm never doing it with the intent to hurt anybody, and it's what I love doing, and it's, like he was saying, it's making money, it's a profit for me, what's the problem with that? What does my age have to do with it? And people will still sit there and be like, "Oh, I've heard this rumor go around all the time. Oh, Barney's a 30-year-old man who plays Roblox for a living." I have seen that more times than I could count, man. And first off, I'm not even 30.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like a good example is this Flamingo, right? He makes millions of dollars. He's 25, 23, 25, something like that.
I think like
he
24,
makes millions of dollars playing Roblox, right? Most people don't even make that in their whole life. You know what I mean? He makes it probably every month. He makes probably $1 million. I don't know how much he makes, but it's like it's a business, and like people, a lot of people used to criticize esports and playing video games in general. But there's people that make a lot of money and they like doing it. And it's like, what makes a real job a job? Like what's the difference between like being a streamer than working at a and like they're in fact they're self-employed. Like you're not working for anybody. You like Barney, you probably like you can kind of work whenever you want, kind of thing. You don't
Yeah.
you don't work the 9 to 5, and like you're probably and that's great. And like a lot of people want to be able to do that, and it's like
Yeah,
the
of course.
fact that people criticize, they criticize, and like people, you're always gonna get people that are critical, but it's like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think it's like if you like doing it, and you're not trying to be like weird, or like you're not trying to like
Hurt
like
anyone.
hurt anybody. You're just you like making content. You try to you like you like listening to your community. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And like I'm going off to college in a few months, so it's like
Oh, congratulations.
yeah, thanks. But it's like people criticizing me for still playing Roblox and whatever, and like, but I'm like, there's I mean, it's like a game I like to play, and I'm not. It's not like I'm trying to like be weird, or it's like. But I made a game, and I made a couple of games, and I'm trying to make more, and like I'm trying to actually, create an income from it. And I said I technically could, but it's confusing at the moment. But
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, Crimson,
Yeah.
you've been waiting for a while to give your answer. So what is from your perspective, we can finally get your answer. What is the point of working at a pixelated cafe? Go ahead.
Well, I'll start back to when I started Roblox, which was in 2016. Now, a lot of people know, and a lot of people comment, my account has safe chat. Now, it here has safe chat. Right, and the whole reason for that is when I created my account back in 2016, I did not realise that you had to put a specific age to unlock certain perks. I mean, a safe chat account, you can't say certain stuff. So a lot of people go, Crimson's 13 or Crimson's 12. I'm going to university this year because I'm from the UK, so I'm going to university this year. And I'm definitely not under the age of 13.
Yeah, I sound like a hero.
Like if you're 13, man, your voice dropped really quick. Jeez.
Pixelated Cafe, there's a lot. I know. I love it when they call it Pixelated Cafe, but a lot of reasons for that is, one, it's a hobby, and two, a lot of people who struggle with social interactions in real life work at places like these because they can make online friendships. They can form connections with people. And
I'm one of them. I'm kidding. Or I'm not.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, Alex. So people form connections with other people that they wouldn't be able to in real life, because a lot of people might have social anxiety. I'm lucky enough not to suffer from that, but I know a lot of people who play, help, they get around it by talking to people and interacting online, and that's how they do it. And it's great for me because I know that I'm helping to make a difference to these kids' lives in a way, because I know some staff I've had before, one of them named the dog after me, called it Crimson, which I thought was really lovely. Another one named a rabbit after me, and another one wanted to call their mum's their sister or brother, whatever it was going to be, Crimson, which I thought was lovely, but I did say it was up to the parents' choice. But when you have these types of things, it's lovely to know that you're making a difference. And I think for me, I don't want to sit here and say, right, I'm going to DevX. Well, I can't anyway because of my account, but I can't say that I'm going to take all of the Robux I've made and run, because I do make a fair amount off GLACE, and I'm not going to say I'm going to take all this and run, but there is a time where I will give it up. But you make new friends, and there's a lot of things that you help build on these types of games that help you in real life, communication, leadership, stuff like that, which help you with actual jobs. So there's a lot of pros to work in these places.
And it's also, you kind of, like, for me at least, I can be myself kind of thing. Like, I like at school and stuff, I'm pretty introverted, and, Roblox kind of allowed me to kind of open up, and and I'll admit it's kind of bad, but I think for the most part it's good, because it's like, you're still, there's a lot of people like that have the same interest as me. And like people at my school don't have the same interest as me. Like I love, I'm like I consider myself like a small entrepreneur, and I love like talking about new ways to, like, create businesses and stuff. But, a lot of people at my school don't think like me, or like they don't think like that. And so, like, but online, you got all these group owners that think exactly like me. And it's great, and that's why I like work, and I like creating cafes, and I like, and I, and I like, yeah, I like the community. I love the people, and a lot of my friends I've known for a while. Like Crimson and we've known each other for like 2 years now,
Oh wow.
and we're pretty close.
Yeah.
And I met some of his friends, and yeah.
I think
some of his friends. Yeah.
I think that is definitely true, that it helps to create social interaction, and I kind of felt that with what Crimson was saying, how it felt so good to make a difference, because I get the same thing when my fan base will tweet at me or leave comments saying that I've made their day, or they'll say they were going through a really hard time and they said that my content helped to cheer them up. But I think I was at Frappe once. I do this every once in a while. I'll go to Frappe on my main account just to interact with people. There was this dude who came up to me, and this was completely out of the blue. I had no way of knowing this was going to happen. I think he said that his grandfather was in the hospital, and he said that he was using my content as a way to keep himself sane. He didn't say that word for word to keep himself sane, but he basically saying it helped him through that experience. And I almost got choked up when I read that. I didn't cry, but it got pretty close. But because it's things like that remind you of what you're doing, because you don't see these people face to face. Like, physically, I'm just sitting in a chair with a microphone and a computer in front of me, and I hear voices coming through my headphones, but they're voices in my head, technically, if you really want to think of it that way. But when you get comments like that, it reminds you of the impact that you're making that you don't physically see. So I definitely felt that when Crimson brought that up, and I hope that that's a thing that other groups experience as well, that they're and in fact I think they are, like they make a difference in people's lives, and I think that's why some people troll, because it brings them joy, just as the same way cafe workers could say, oh hey, I work at this group because it's something I love doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess the next question here, actually, you know what, let me check the community post really quick. Okay, here's a good question, actually. If there was drama to erupt between high-ranking members or super high-ranking members, how is this dealt with? Because in the last interview, the chairwoman of Chicken Shack, she kind of brought up how when drama erupts between high-ranking members, it's very, very messy, and it can be hard to clean up. So if that kind of thing happens, how is it dealt with?
Well,
Do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, because I don't deal with it. So
Yeah, I deal with this. So I have fired SHRs before, both at Cream and Glace, for causing drama. They represent the group, as we talked about before. To deal with an incident like that is very complicated, because these people are, I'd probably say, by some members of the community, idolised. A lot of people look up to these members of the community and think, wow, this is where I want to be. I want to be head of public relations, or I want to be this and I want to be that. And it creates a lot of problems. So usually if it SHR drama, we try to keep it in the chats. We try to not let the community see it, because it obviously it will harm Glace's reputation. Second of all, is that we don't want to see other staff members seeing this drama of, staff members who are, in leading positions getting upset or frustrated. But usually from my end of the perspective, I deal with pretty much all SHR incidents with Maddie. But what we do is we either go one way, it's either a straight fire or a warning. But we try and keep a lid on it as much as possible to stop it from spilling out to the community, because like you said, 100%, it is very hard to clean up once you've left that footprint. And it does stain sometimes on the community. We have had it before at Glace where SHR drama has been exposed, or HR drama has been exposed, and it does leave a lasting remark. But won't be for long, it'll be about 2 or 3 weeks, but then it'll stop and then there'll be another thing. So you're always constantly on your toes dealing with drama. if somebody tells you that there's a drama-free community, they're lying to you. There's always going to be drama, 100%. No matter where you are, you cannot eradicate it. But the best thing you can do is try and keep it calm, keep it concise, keep a lid on it, and try and deal with it before it explodes out of control.
Yeah, because, with me personally, with the trolling community, it's no secret that there's a lot of drama in the trolling community as well. Yeah. The cafe community is not alone in that. And, with me personally, I just try to stay as far away from it as possible. But you may not have that luxury because, you don't have that luxury because you are connected to the group. Whereas with me, I have the luxury of being able to kind of just take a step back. And as much as I don't want to, I have to just kind of sit there and watch it all burn. And it's upsetting to me seeing drama erupt between trolling YouTubers especially, because they represent the community. Like you guys, the owners, represent your groups. I think, in my opinion, the people who are the faces of the trolling community are the YouTubers. When drama erupts between us, it is unbelievably messy. And you guys have the luxury of being able to kind of keep it confined within a chat. So that's one luxury you guys have, is you got to keep it confined within a chat. Whereas with us, the trolling community, nothing stays private for long. It usually just gets out there within a few months.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, for staff, again, Crimson talked about this earlier, exposed documents, a lot of people, especially if someone like this happened a lot, we've had to fire people, and because they got fired, they ended up, kind of
turning around and
and
trying to expose
that's where it's like they're using like some people do this where it's like they'll build up, there's a lot of times this happens where they don't they don't have a problem with what's going on with their group, but once they get fired, there's so many issues with this happened before. There's a difference. There's some people that have quit before and made exposed owners. That's different. They quit on their own terms and they've exposed owners because they felt like something was going wrong. But we've had staff members that were fired. We had this raid GLACE server once where they were leaking announcements because staff announcements, SHR announcement, they were leaking our old V3 build, pictures of that, and it was bad, and it was just annoying. I try to avoid drama at all costs. It's tiring, it's annoying, and at the end of the day, it's Roblox, and it's not, it's stupid, It's it's we're just two different. There's difference. It's if you're being racist or homophobic or that kind of stuff. Obviously you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. But it's drama, just fights over I mostly petty thing in my opinion. I mean, drama that usually it's but at some point it happens. You can't stop it. But I just avoid it at all costs. And I used to make things public, but now I don't, unless I have to. The only times I have to make something public is when alliances get involved, and people start talking about it in chats, and I gotta say something about it. But if it's not crazy, it's just a staff member, doing something bad, and I won't make it public.
I agree. A lot of drama is over petty things. People a lot of times, it's just because it's over stupid things that could easily be. I mean, there's some cases where there's serious things going on. But a lot of times, the grand majority is just stupid. So here's a question somebody asked, and this is kind of a basic question. How did you come up with the name GLACE? Where did that come from?
We did.
Well, again, I didn't create the group, but I'll tell you what it is. GLACE is the French word for ice cream, so...
Oh, I actually didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, or it's cream or ice. Wait, let me look. GLACE, French.
It's ice cream or ice something.
Yeah, it's a French word. Yeah, ice cream, yes. Yeah, it is. Ice cream. So that's basically... Yeah.
So one way you could look at it is ice cream parlor, basically. That's one way you could kind of look at it that.
Very unique.
Well, I mean, the group name is just GLACE, but the game, I guess. Oh wait, I never thought about that. Oh my god, I never thought about it like that. Yeah, I mean, I love ice cream parlors. I don't know why. I like ice cream. So,
Oh yeah, I do too. Ice cream's amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying not to eat it. Like I'm trying to, get some gains, but I feel like if you like the thing that you're doing, like
Go for it.
I like ice cream, so it's like why not just run ice cream groups, and it's worked well for me. Some people like there's a lot of like I mean I'm not gonna bring up specific, but there is people like I've tried to make other rank selling groups that just haven't worked. Ice cream just seems to always work for me, so
Yeah.
I've stuck with it. But I've seen other people try to copy stuff, or not copy me, but try to use my system stuff in their own groups. In fact, they tried to get my staff as well, or not mine. Again, nothing's mine, but staff for GLACE tried to get staff for GLACE for their own groups. I mean, if the person's watching this, they know who they are. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine.
If you love us or hate us, GLACE does have a
GLACE
foothold in the community.
Yeah, it does.
And we do attract a lot of people who are interested in our staff and are interested in our systems. You can't. I can't tell you how many times a week I get messages saying, "Crimson, can you come and work at my group? What do I need to pay you?" And sometimes I feel like sometimes it's quite sad in a way for me because people are literally say, "I'll pay you £100 if you come and work for me." Well, it'd be pound for me because I'm British, and it's like that's where it's like it's all right for me saying, "Oh, look, I have all these offers or whatever," but it in a way it's like quite sad that they are willing to go to that length sometimes. Personally, that's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, like I like when, like for me personally, I like when people respect my work. I like that. But what I don't like is when I'm idolized. I don't want to be idolized.
Agreed, yeah.
I'm like, if you respect my work and you respect what I'm trying to do, I'm all right with that. And if you want to like maybe look up to me, I guess I'm a bad choice of person to look up to. I'll tell you that right now, though. But if you want to, I mean, go for it. But don't take my word as gospel all the time. Like don't view me as a perfect being who can do no wrong. Like I don't like. First off, that puts a ton of pressure on me. And number two, you're setting yourself up for failure if you think anyone is perfect. Like that's just how it is.
We get it all the time in GLACE. Well, I do get it, and I have to sit down and say, at the end of the day, I've just turned an adult. I am behind a computer screen. You're never going to meet me in your life, but you need to just take a step back and look at things. I am a Cohen and not a very powerful human being in society. At the end of the day. I can't change your life, but I can change your roleplay experience. Let's just say that.
Funny how we got into this discussion just about the group's name. Yeah. All right, so the next question, this is another one from the community post. This is from the community. Why is professionalism taken so seriously? Why do these groups hold professionalism in such high regard?
Roleplay. It's how these communities are built. Roleplay. The whole point is like if you break roleplay, it ruins the game, kind of thing, or it ruins the experience for other people. And
I guess
professionalism is a lot of games are like this. Those military groups, like they're very strict on professionalism.
Oh, I know that. I was part of one. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
GLACE, if I just add a bit there, GLACE, I would not say is an overly professional group. We're not going to sit here and we're not going to say if you break a rule you're fired instantly. We give people, like I said earlier, we give people free chances. If they buy a rank, to reclaim it, and we suspend people 3 times as well, which means that we give people a choice to say, look, being suspended for this reason, this is what we can help to improve. But it is down to the person. I am more chill and relaxed with people who do not take this game seriously. As in like it's the be all and end all. But I can go into the parlour and I can see 4 staff members who are like, don't do this, don't do that. If I go into the parlour or if I go into the parlour with another SHR, we just sit there. And if the dot, who cares? It's not, at the end of the day, it's just dotting. I'm not an overall professional person, but I do have standards. And, we do have standards here at GLACE that need to be upheld. For me, it's SHR standards. And that's what I uphold. But if an SHR went in there and started screaming and messing about, then that is what I deal with. But we give people free chances for a reason. At the end of the day, life, at the end, people, it's life, isn't it? If you screw up once, you get another opportunity, another opportunity, another opportunity. It's fine. We shouldn't sit there and go, GLACE is your life. If you screw it up, then that's it.
Then you're dead.
Always, for every single one of the SHRs that I work with, I always tell them to put skull first, 100%. And I will keep saying that. You know, GLACE is far less important than people's education and people's real life.
Yeah.
And I have given people months off at a time. I've given people, you know, I gave someone half a year off before because because they had such a lot going on with their mental health. And that is so much more important than being professional and upholding a standard. Far more important.
Definitely. Alrighty guys, that's where it's going to cut off for today, but like I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, this will not be the end of episode 2, not yet. There is one last part to go. Part 3 of 3. So, yeah, if you want to know when that will be coming out, make sure to pay attention to my Twitter account, which is linked in the description. Pay attention to the community tab as well, because those are the two places where you can get updates about this sort of thing. Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe. And like I said, follow me on Twitter for updates, twitter.com/BarneyHunter12. And make sure to leave a comment letting me know what you thought and where you'd like to actually see me do an interview at next. Frat Bay's definitely on the bucket list, because I'm sure everybody's going to say that. But definitely Frat Bay's on the bucket list. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!